Hello, and welcome to my new video. In this one, I'm making a hat to go with the spring gown outfit that I had tried doing a 1 hour sewing challenge on that wound up taking an hour and a half to complete. Incidentally, I actually did make this hat in an hour. I do have the video footage sped up once again to 200% speed. So basically, I wanted a hat to go with this outfit because it was pretty incomplete otherwise, and you know what? She's a flower farmer and a gardener. She needs a hat. Okay, so this particular hat I'm using came from Joanne Fabrics and Crafts. This video is not sponsored by them, but at the time of making this video, I did benefit from an employee discount for getting the hat there. It is a 3-inch hat, and it actually fits the OB11 dolls pretty well. I mean, obviously it's going to depend on the hair piece that you have for them, but it fits little Ina here pretty well. This is the item number and the barcode for the hat, should you be interested in finding the exact hat that I used for this project. Other retailers probably sell some. I mean, all craft stores have little tiny straw hats and other little tiny hats. Well, maybe not all craft stores. That's kind of a very broad statement, but a lot of the major chains have little tiny hats. I basically just took her to the store and tried out a few until I figured out what fit. Anyway, without further ado, here I kind of played around with a few ribbon options to see what I liked. There's the velvet ribbon that I had used in the dress portion of the video, but it was kind of bulky and I didn't like the way that it kind of didn't really conform to the shape of the hat very well. That one also had a little trouble conforming to the shape of the hat, but it wasn't quite as bad. And it was a similar color to the colors in the dress. So I tried a couple 1/8 inch ribbons, and I liked them a lot better because they conformed to the shape of the hat a lot better. The previous ribbons were, I think, 1/4 or possibly 3/8, and I just didn't really like how well they fit. Whereas this one, because the 1/8 inch ribbons, I was able to go slightly smaller on the purple ribbon that's on top. It conformed to the shape a lot better. And then I also wanted to use this flower ribbon in some way because I thought it would be a good fit for her because it matched the shoes, the character that I have, like the personality that I have for her. She's a florist. And whatnot, so flowers are kind of her jam. So I took a couple pieces of the flowers off to use as embellishments for the hat later on. Oh yeah, I also wanted to dress up the flowers a little bit and make them just a little bit shinier and tone down the shade of yellow a little bit because they are a very bold shade of yellow and her outfit is more pastel. So I took some of the Turbo Dork Yuzu paint to tone down the paint with. Now, if I was doing this on a bigger scale, I might actually mix this with fabric medium, but because this is just going to be a little embellishment on a hat, I did not mix the paint with fabric medium. I just didn't feel like it was necessary. But for something of a bigger, more grandiose, I definitely would mix it with fabric medium. Yeah, here I trimmed down some double-sided fabric tape and taped it to the ribbon. Then I used that to attach the ribbon to the hat. I figured that, you know, it's clean, evenly applied, no fuss, no chance of making a nasty gluey mess, because I totally would make a nasty gluey mess. And yeah. And also, like, I could reposition it a little bit, whereas if I was using glue and I tried to put it in the wrong spot, I could have really made a mess. I didn't quite have enough tape on the ribbon, so I had to add a little more. I got it all the way around, as you can see here, and then I just snipped it when I was done. And then I did the same with the, I guess it's sort of a mauve. It was the purple. Just kind of tried to line it up as exactly as I could with the teal. And yeah, did a test fit. It's looking good. Those exact colors aren't quite in the outfit natively, but they are very close to colors that are in the outfit, so I thought it'd still work together well. And then here you can kind of see me comparing the yellow and going in for another layer. I think this is actually part of what slowed down this particular process, was having to paint layers onto that and let the layers dry. I think this time I was just doing some edge highlighting though. You can kind of see me just going at the edges kind of carefully. And there I realized I could hold a pin through it, and that would be a much easier way of holding it. Doing the edge highlights. And then I stuck it into that piece of, just a piece of scrap foam, while I worked on another piece. And did the same thing. I kind of just did some edge highlighting so that way, like in the places where I didn't put the paint on, it would be a little darker and have some depth to it. And then I kind of took it off and then kind of squished it a little bit, just to kind of give it a little more shape. Here I just started putting like little beads on it and like going through my beads. Just kind of see what I liked, and also going through my beads to get like a little leaf-shaped bead out. So I was basically trying to decide how I wanted to attach it and what I wanted it to look like. Then I threaded a little ribbon. Or not a ribbon. I threaded a sewing needle. Wow. Okay, yeah. At some point right around here, I realized that like the leaf bead had some detail work in it that I thought could use a little bit of speed paint to kind of bring out some of the details, bring out some depth to it. So I grabbed one of my green speed paints. Okay, I took speed paint medium. I wanted it thin. And then camo cloak. Okay, yeah, because camo cloak is fairly strong and dark on its own, so I mixed just a little bit of camo cloak into some medium to thin it out more. And then I painted the bead, just to kind of give it a little more visual interest, bring out the detail a little bit. Yeah. I just kind of did it on the one side, I think. Okay, then I took some clear thread, went through the hat, and sewed the leaf in place. Kind of took a second to figure out how I wanted the leaf to go. And I sewed these embellishments over where the seams on the ribbons were, so that way it was covered up. So I just kind of stitched the leaf in place with a couple stitches. I think I probably went through it about 3 times. Then I figured out the placement of the flowers. Poked the needle through where I wanted the flowers to go. Determined which combination of the flowers looked like, which sides looked best and whatnot. Then I put the bead through it. Then I went back through the center of the flowers and secured them in place. So the bead is holding them in place and just kind of looks nice and pretty. And I kind of positioned it a bit until I liked how it looked. Pulled the thread nice and tight, but not too tight to break it. Then I secured it in place and tied a knot. And then after I did that, I felt like it just needed a little something more. So I wound up adding another flower from another bit of lace. Now they actually do make like ribbon flowers that already have like... Sorry, I was trying to get the camera to focus and it wouldn't focus. They actually do make little flowers that you can get that are already made out of ribbon. But I specifically went with the lace flowers from some different lace trims I have, just because her dress is lace, so I felt like the flower should also be lace. And the hat should also work with the other little dress I have for her, and any kind of other spring outfits that involve those colors. It should work pretty well, I think. You can tell I'm not quite satisfied there, so I got out a trim that had some flowers, and then I cut out a little white flower. And then I dug up another tiny little bead. On this one I used like the tiniest little blue seed bead. The yellow flower's got a purple bead. Since yellow and purple are contrast colors, I thought it would look good, and also with one of the bands being somewhat purple, the little purple bead in the middle of the yellow flowers just kind of ties it all together. So I did a similar touch with the blue, the white flower getting a tiny blue bead since it's over the sort of teal ribbon. I didn't have like little teal beads, but it also, like, you know, picks up some of the blues in the outfits. Yeah, there's some blue in the corset. And the camera was just having an event here while I went to get a bead. So once again, I used clear thread to go through the hat, went through the middle of the flower, put on the seed bead, which is a little hard to get over that needle because it's not a beading needle. I think I actually had to get a different seed bead. Yep, I did. And I finally found one that worked. I went back through the center of the white flower, and then I secured it in place in the hat. And then I tied that thread until I had a nice sturdy knot that I was satisfied with. And then boom, had a little hat. I just kind of felt like it needed the little white flower because like 3s are very nice and they make things look complete, and that embellishment basically has 3 elements. It's got the yellow flower, the white flower, and then the green leaf. So it's, you got a nice little triad there. I felt like it just worked very nicely and went with her outfit nicely. She says hi. And once again, here it is with the complete outfit. Again, like, the sun was very intense when I was trying to take some of these photos, so unfortunately they're a bit washed out, but you can kind of see how it all turned out together. Yeah. Anyway, that's how that outfit wound up turning out overall, and I hope you enjoyed this little video on embellishing a little doll hat. If you'd like to see how I made the dress that this hat goes with, check the description for the video for that. And if you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you and have a wonderful day.